There aren't enough appropriate words to adequately describe all the things Mountain Men has taught us so far. Since its premiere in 2012, the show has taken us to some of the most remote places in the US, giving us a deep insight into what it really means to live off the grid, especially the struggles and hard work the men and women who choose this lifestyle endure. Or is that enjoy? While many Mountain Men cast members have come and gone through the years, Eustace Conway was always a constant presence in the show until 2022, when his absence from the 11th season equally surprised and worried his fans. So, where is Eustace Conway right now? Is he just taking a break from the show, or has he definitely retired? Stay with us to know all about his whereabouts and other interesting details about his life, such as his net worth, personal life, and current business. The return of Mountain Men in September 2022 brought mixed feelings to its fans. On one hand, it was great to see such a loved show being renewed for its 11th season. But at the same time, it was flabbergasting to realize Eustace Conway was nowhere to be seen for the first time since the series premiered in 2012. Although for now, it's not clear if Eustace's absence is permanent or if he's meant to reappear later in the season, his journey as the so-called last American man continues. Nowadays, he's very focused on his mountain lodge business, offering retreats to passerby and tourists in North Carolina. While he's only occasionally present in the business, that's usually Eustace's choice, who, according to reports, has in recent years also taken a step back from public life, even when it comes to his beloved Turtle Island Preserve. Though such behavior is somewhat expected from such a mysterious and private person as himself, his Instagram account continuously updates his over 10,000 followers on his whereabouts. For now, that should be enough to calm his fans' worries, but his future in Mountain Men remains unknown to the public. To answer another question, according to authoritative sources, Eustace has an estimated net worth of over $200,000. While that's impressive for someone as committed to living a simple life surrounded by nature, the truth is that his fortune partially results from his survivalist ways. As reported by Business Insider, the salary of non-celebrity casts in reality, supposedly factual shows, is usually $1,500 per episode during their early years on air. Depending on a series' popularity, these numbers might increase as time passes. If we take this amount into account, it results in Eustace earning a few thousands per Mountain Men season since its beginning. On top of that, the affordable survival camps held on Turtle Island Preserve have been providing him with a small but constant income for around 3 decades. Other than that, Eustace successfully owns and runs his tourist lodge business in North Carolina, which has been popular enough to gain him 5 stars on its website in just a couple of years. All in all, while Eustace Conway is in no way a millionaire, he has surely earned enough money through diverse means to sustain himself in times of real need. If you've been paying attention to Mountain Men, you surely know that despite Eustace's popularity and skillful ways when it comes to outdoor survival, there's apparently no woman in his life. While this isn't a subject Eustace is very keen on addressing, his forever single status is well known by those who have been following his story long before he debuted on TV. Back in 1999, it was noted in an Outsider article that Eustace was dating Patience Harrison, a 20-something former elementary school teacher whom he'd met a couple of years before. However, while Harrison had apparently left her profession and permanently moved with Eustace onto Turtle Island Preserve, the relationship apparently wasn't very blissful. "She isn't ready for commitment. She doesn't truly understand me," confessed Eustace to journalist Florence Williams. It's unknown how long Patience and Eustace were together, but they eventually broke up. They don't have kids together. According to Will Barr from GQ magazine, in 2021, Eustace was still single, but felt that his goal of having a wife and kids wasn't entirely lost. "That's a journey that I haven't really succeeded at, that I have set out on. I'd still be happy to have a family. That's actually my greatest desire of all," Eustace confessed back then. Long before the idea of creating Mountain Men even crossed the mind of producers on the History Channel, Eustace Conway was already something of a modern legend in survivalism, with a fame which included being featured in several articles, documentaries, and having a book centered on his life. It's understandably baffling that a man as committed to naturalism and environmental preservation as Eustace is would start a business by himself. However, as unexpected as it is, That's exactly what he's doing nowadays. According to his profile on a housing online service platform, he started his lodge renting business in 2019, using the money he saved from appearing in Mountain Men, but purposefully didn't tell his followers about it, just to prove that the unique, comfortable qualities of the homes themselves could succeed on their own, without the celebrity status of my associated branding, he revealed. Apparently, everything in the lodges follows Eustace's indoor preferences, as he's not only crafted several pieces of furniture, but also fixed said houses by himself. His interior design skills spoke for themselves, achieving his goal of making people leave the lodges more inspired with life possibilities compared to their arrival. All in all, his rental services are apparently thriving, and there's no reason why they shouldn't continue to do so for a long time. So what is the Turtle Island Preserve? More than just the average retreat camp, it's actually Eustace Conway's life dream come true, or at least part of it. As described on its website, the Preserve is his brainchild project, one he dreamed about in his earliest years, and which finally became true in 1987, when he established it with the help of a couple of friends, including the late Preston Roberts. The Turtle Island Preserve, which according to GQ was named after the legend of the turtle who carries the very earth on its back, is located in North Carolina's southern Appalachian region, in land which he continuously kept expanding over the first 2 decades after founding the camp. Now encompassing 1,000 acres of property, the preserve makes an honor of its name by celebrating lifestyle practices of earlier people from our great-grandparents' time, back into prehistory. So reads the camp's website. By arranging programs for people from diverse backgrounds and all ages, the preserve's mission is to encourage them to embrace traditional practices now mostly lost in modernity, such as harvesting, hunting, and collecting in the relative wilderness, converting these natural items into either food or medicine. Other activities include camping and building cabins with natural resources only. Although it's apparent that Eustace isn't as present in the preserve nowadays as he was in the beginnings, Turtle Island is truly his biggest legacy. The name Preston Roberts is also surely known by all who have been paying regular attention to Mountain Men. While Roberts wasn't a constant presence in the show, most viewers might remember him for being Eustace's loyal friend, a charismatic and quite resourceful man. What most people might not know is that Roberts was hugely important for the Turtle Island Preserve. Not only was he a founding member, but he also took charge of many of the preserve's activities for several years as camp director, built many of the lodges and cabins in Turtle Island, and successfully raised funds in favor of the preserve by selling numerous of his craft-made knives. Beyond being Eustace's best friend and right hand, Roberts was a dedicated family guy married to Kathleen and father to 3 sons, and a committed art teacher. Unfortunately, in July 2017, Preston Roberts passed away surrounded by his family after a short battle against cancer. According to the statement released by his family, he had a large, inoperable tumor on his liver that obstructed the flow of blood and oxygen to his organs and body. The change was rapid and outpaced any treatment, they wrote. The Turtle Island, a burial place atop a hill, is engraved in his honor. Needless to say, Eustace Conway is a once-in-a-lifetime type of man, and as such, it's not surprising that his life story is quite fascinating. However, the reason Eustace is such a committed and legendary naturalist could be traced back to almost 100 years ago. According to an extensive interview he gave GQ magazine in 1998, his World War I veteran grandfather established the first Boy Scouts program in North Carolina, soon continuing his legacy by founding in 1924 the Camp Sequoia for Boys, whose motto, "Where the weak become strong and the strong become great," was taken to the extreme, educating young men in the arts of survival. Eustace's mother, Karen, was raised in that camp and followed her father's lifestyle as well, which makes it unsurprising that her oldest son was left to roam free in the wild without much supervision. It resulted in Eustace being comfortable with things most kids wouldn't even imagine. When he turned 12, he went into the forest alone and empty-handed for a week, making his own shelter and living off the land, the article reads. Despite holding degrees in English and anthropology, Eustace's travels around the world were motivated by his love for nature and discovering cultures, rather than for studies or money, making him one kind of fascinating person. The first time the world got a hold of a small piece of Eustace Conway's life story was in 1988, when GQ contributor Elizabeth Gilbert extensively interviewed him for the magazine, describing him as smart and fearless, and believes that he can do anything he sets his mind to, like saving America, she wrote. That same year, the episode entitled Adventures in the Simple Life on the radio show The American Life accompanied Gilbert's piece into making Eustace's name known all around the country. Furthermore, other media portals had to follow the trend, even if contacting the hardly approachable Eustace was a difficult task in itself. That being said, big media names such as the New York Times, Outsider, and the Los Angeles Times featured several stories about Eustace for interested readers, who either admired Eustace or were thunderstruck by him. Later in 2002, Gilbert's book, The Last American Man, showed a deeper insight into who Eustace really is, ultimately selling his reputation as a legend of the mountains. Despite being interviewed several times, Eustace's first video feature didn't come until 2003, when Jack Bibbo's documentary Full Circle, A Life Story of Eustace Conway, premiered. Later in 2012, Eustace along with other outstanding naturalists were showcased in the Reconvergence documentary directed by Edward Tyndall, and premiered shortly before History's Channel Mountain Men saw the light for the first time. That being said, the fact that Eustace has been so extensively featured in the popular media doesn't necessarily mean his story has been completely told. There are still huge parts of his philosophy, lifestyle, and worldviews which aren't as simply told. But it's certain that whether or not Eustace gets a chance to tell the world every single little thing about himself and what drives him, his legacy is tremendous enough as it is now. While it's unknown to date if Eustace will reappear in Mountain Men, the show has introduced us to a new face in the latest seasons. We're talking about Martha Tansey, who first appeared in the show in the 10th season and promptly captured the audience's attention for her top-notch hunting skills. Serving 5 years in the army prepared Martha for many things, though learning to survive in the wild is logically a constant battle for anyone. However, Martha has done well by helping her Athabascan community in the southern region of Alaska with her hunting skills. Even though History Channel lists Martha's specialties as sharpshooting and being an expert mechanic, Mountain Men's audiences also have a glimpse of her most sensible side through her interactions with her daughter, Ellie, making a memorable mother-daughter survivalist team. Needless to say, it's too early to say that Martha is Eustace's replacement, but she surely won the appreciation of the audiences in her own right. Partnering her with Eustace could be a magical step. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.